who you open your eyes for the very first time in the year 2511. You've just been born as a human, but not on Earth. Maybe the newest citizen of the most advanced society in human history. But unfortunately, you've got the genetic markers that will ruin your life, just like how it will ruin my mood and feeling if you do not subscribe to my YouTube channel. So please do that. Been born to two loving human parents in Elysium City, the capital of the colony world, Irinus II. You spend the first year of your childhood like any other kid. You play around your parents' house, play with your toys, and fall asleep to the stories about Earth that your mother tells you at night, even though she's never even been there. But the whole time, a small group of people are watching you from a distance, taking notes on how fast you learn, how quickly you grow, and whether or not you have what they're looking for. Irinus II is only one of 800 human colonies across the galaxy, all under the control of the UEG, the Unified Earth Government. A futuristic utopia known for its lush environments, sprawling cities, and advanced infrastructure. This atmosphere is almost identical to Earth's, and its gravity is only 1% stronger. Like every Earth colony, the media here is under control of the government. But no one really seems to mind because they all trust the UEG. I mean, why wouldn't? Everything is perfect here. Even though you've been born here, you're not a citizen of Irinus II. You're a citizen of the UEG, which spans across the Milky Way galaxy. This military, the UNC, or United Nations Space Command, is among the most powerful in existence. One morning when you're just 6 years old, men in military uniforms show up at your school, telling you there's been an accident. They tell you that your parents are hurt and you need to come with them immediately. You trust them because they're with the government, and adults don't lie to children, right? But as soon as you're out of sight from any witnesses, you're kidnapped and sedated. At that exact moment, over the other side of town, the Office of Naval Intelligence covers up your abduction by placing an exact flash clone of yourself in your family home. You see, flash cloning is a medical process that was invented for organ transplants. Doctors use a sample of a patient's DNA to grow them a cloned organ that's programmed to grow at an accelerated rate. Designed for people who only have months to live and don't have time to spare waiting on a transplant. But with this same process, it's possible to flash clone an entire human being, just in case you're in a situation where you, I don't know, need an exact copy of a 6-year-old boy. This clone has most of the memories and personality traits of the original, but due to the sheer complexity of cloning an entire human, a series of defects show themselves within. As these defects accumulate, the clone eventually dies from degenerative disorders. The process of flash cloning an entire human being is highly illegal because every clone eventually dies within a year. It also makes this the perfect cover-up because as far as your parents know, you weren't kidnapped at. You came home from school that day. After a few weeks, you were diagnosed with a genetic disorder, and 8 months later you died. Welcome to the Spartan 2 program, kid. You're loaded onto a transport ship with other confused children around your age. And just like you, they've all been stolen from their families. You see, you've all been chosen for something special. You're going to become humanity's greatest warriors. Well, those who survive. The ship takes you to planet Reach, your new home. Reach is humanity's biggest military planet after Earth. In fact, with weapon factories, testing sites, and the most intense training facilities humans have ever built. As soon as you step off the ship, the Office of Naval Intelligence gives you a uniform and a number. The OI runs this whole operation, and it's absolutely top secret. Most of the UNC doesn't even know it exists, and if they did, they certainly wouldn't allow it. Your last name, forget about it. To separate you from your civilian life, you won't be needing that anymore. Just a combination of your first name and a number. The chief officer is your instructor, and this man has zero patience for 6-year-olds. He will make you train until you've got nothing left to give, and then train some more. You wake up at 5:30 a.m. every day, and if you're not standing within 30 seconds, the whole group is punished and they're going to hate you for that. Your daily routine becomes a nightmare designed to break ordinary children. Physical training starts with a 5-mile run before breakfast, followed by hand-to-hand combat instruction where you will learn to kill people with your bare hands, while the other 6-year-olds are back home watching cartoons while eating cereal. You're memorizing every single way to snap someone's neck. You're definitely still going to school, just a little bit more intense. You're studying military history dating back to ancient Earth conflicts, learning about modern space war, and also the reason for the Spartan program you're in. The outer colonies have been rebelling against the United Earth government and the UNCC for decades now, and you're being trained to stop them. Now, back to your training, the most important thing you know. The worst part isn't the physical, but it's the constant testing of your skills. You go through survival exercises where they drop you in hostile environments with barely any supplies. And if you fail, your whole squad will starve. In one of these exercises, they drop you naked in a frozen forest with just a compass, expecting you to survive and walk 200 kilometers to safety. And believe me, these are just some of the easy. But the good news is that after all this training, you finally get to sleep for around 4 hours if you're lucky. Being extremely tired becomes your natural state, and if you show any kind of weakness, that means everyone will get extra training, which will just give them another reason to hate you again. On top of all the extreme physical training, they monitor your brain patterns, adjust your hormone levels, and use advanced conditioning techniques to ensure you obey without question. You start to forget what your parents look like. Their voices fade from your memory, and the stories your mother used to tell you become distant dreams. You're stripped away from your emotional connections to anything outside the program, even while you sleep, where they use subliminal messaging during your sleep cycles. But age 8, you've already survived exercises deadlier than most soldiers will see in war. If you haven't noticed by now, your training exercises are really unfair. Fellow Spartans go against veteran Marines and Special Forces. It even goes to the point where the adults use real bullets while you use practice ammunition. In one of these training exercises, when a Marine tries to take one of your fellow Spartans hostage, your training kicks in and you break his arm before you even realize what you're doing. The weird part is that you don't feel anything after this. You're not sorry about what happened. Your fellow Spartans become the only family you know, and you find your role in this deadly family unit. As you get older, the training just gets harder. They train you to fight in every possible environment, from Arctic tundra to desert wastelands. And because murder on the ground isn't enough, you're also trained to fight in space. You master zero-gravity combat, learning to fight in space using jetpacks and magnetic boots. With all the training, missions, and modifications, you don't even feel the years spilling by. Then comes your 14th birthday, which means that you're ready for the biggest modification procedure. An excruciating process that will either transform you into a superhuman killing machine or kill you. The augmentation procedure has 5 parts. Each one comes with its own risk and unbearable pain. You're unconscious during these augmentations, but somehow you still feel everything. The first is carbide ceramic oification. You practically unbreakable by bonding Advanced ceramic material to your skeleton that's stronger than steel. Recommended not to exceed more than 3% of the total bone mass to avoid fatal amounts of white blood cell death. Feels like your bones are breaking as if your bone marrow was made of glass and is being shattered. Risk skeletal growth. Spurts may cause complete and irreversible bone pulverization. Second are the muscular enhancement injections. The protein mixture is injected directly into the muscles to increase tissue density and decrease lactase recovery time. Risk 5% of test subjects experience a fatal increase of their heart rate. This produces an extraordinary pain as if your veins had been injected with napalm and then are being torn out of your skin. The effect of your muscles increasing in density feels like your entire body is on fire, mixed with the feeling of dinner plates shattering and being worked into your body. Third is the catalytic thyroid implant, where they inject a platinum pellet into the front of your neck, packed with growth hormone catalyst, designed to supercharge your muscle and bone development. Basically, they hijack your endocrine system to force your muscles and skeleton to grow stronger, faster, and harder than nature ever intended. Fourth is occipital capillary reversal, the rewiring of blood vessels behind your retinas to boost blood flow and supercharge your vision. This is retinal rejection and detachment causing permanent blindness. Finally is the superconducting fibration of neural dendrites. They rewire your nervous system, swapping out your natural bioelectric signals for enhanced, shielded electronic ones. Your reflexes triple and your memory, intelligence, and creative also increase. Basically, your brain becomes less human and more like a machine. It feels like a fire is burning along the nerves on your spine. Many subjects end up with severe neurological disorders like early onset Parkinson's or Fletcher syndrome, which basically scrambles your motor functions. Then they turn your brain into an actual computer with implants installed in your skull that allow you to connect directly with AI systems and your future armor. Congratulations, you survived the surgery. But even though you're still alive, your body's a mess. Your brain has to relearn how to move with your new muscles and reflexes. You keep falling over, flinching at every movement, and are struggling to grip simple objects. Your eyes bleed. Your bones ache constantly. The headaches are so intense. You can't tell if you're awake or dreaming. And every second feels like your body's trying to tear itself apart from the inside. Your bones are metal. Your nerves are wire, and you can't even hold a spoon without dropping it, which is why I'd like to recommend you a different kind of combat experience. Introducing Zenless Zone Zero. Zenless Zone Zero just dropped its latest update, version 2.1, and leading the charge is Alice Field, a sword-wielding noblewoman who's terrified of ghosts, obsessed with symmetry, and literally attacks people with snowflakes and exploding bunnies. It's amazing. She's part of the Spook Shack faction and stars in a new storyline called The Impending Crash of Waves, where you explore sunny beach resorts, haunted ghost ships, and uncover secrets across New Edo. You also get to fight alongside Miss Esme, a fashionable little battle bunny robot that's just as adorable as she is deadly. This is insightful, right? Come on, hit that subscribe button now. The link is in the description. But unfortunately not everyone was as lucky as you. Original group of 75 children, only 33 survived the process. The rest either die on the operating table or suffer permanent disabilities that washed them out of the program. But why children? Wouldn't you be better off doing this to actual soldiers? Well, not exactly. Oh, and I initially tried this program with adults. But when they got to the augmentations, it didn't go so well. Had a survival rate of 0%. So the O and I came to the conclusion that children's minds and bodies are much more adaptable and capable of handling the drastic changes. And that's where you came in. Over time, the worst side effects start to fade or at least settle into something you can live with. Your body finally adapts, but it's not the same body you started with. You're enormous. Now, pushing well past 200 pounds. That's what happens when they pump you full of growth hormones and rebuild you from the inside out. Just a few months after the augmentations, you're clocking sprint speeds over 55 kilometers an hour and you're capable of lifting 3 times your body. Your reaction time is estimated to be 20 milliseconds. Even then, your reaction times will be significantly faster in combat situations or with AI assistance. So fast that you'll be able to think, react, and see things happen in slow motion. And with your new sharp eyesight, you can essentially see in the they broke and remade your whole body to turn you into something else. You're a superhuman now, and it's finally time for you to be deployed. Your first mission is to stop an insurrection by the Outer Colony rebels. They're a threat to the entire UG. You've been trained to kill since the moment you were taken. But these aren't some evil invaders. These are farmers with rifles, civilian engineers turned freedom fighters, people who just want independence from Earth. And you kill them anyway because that's what you were made for. You breach their compounds without a sound, tearing through walls and armor like they're made out of tissues. One rebel drops his weapon the moment he sees you, like he's staring at a ghost. And he's not wrong. You're sent from planet to planet and win every fight. Every single mission is a success. Anyone who dares fight for independence from the unified Earth government is crushed without hesitation, and they never stood a chance. But then one day, everything changes. Harvest, a quiet agricultural world, goes silent. There's no distress call, no warning, just gone. The first recon fleet that arrives on the scene finds the planet and everything on it completely vaporized. From orbit, the world is simply a series of grays, blacks, and reds, and everything on the surface is charred. The air is just littered with ash and dust. A few days ago, this planet had a population of 3 million. Now it's 0. This wasn't rebels. Humans don't have the technology to do something like this. This was something else. The Covenant. The Covenant of fanatical alien alliance of multiple species bound together by religion and fueled by prophecy. The belief is that humanity must be wiped out to activate the sacred rings and ascend to godhood. They're made up of prophets, elites, brutes, grunts, jackals, hunters, and drones. Separate alien species working together under one religion. They worship the forerunners, which are actually just an extinct ancient species of alien with advanced technology. But they don't know that they don't want peace. They don't want negotiation. They want extinction. And with technology centuries ahead of humanity's, they start getting exactly that. Every human fleet sent against them gets shredded. Orbital stations destroyed and cities are burnt alive. Entire worlds are wiped clean in a matter of days. Billions are dying and the UNC is losing fast. For every Covenant ship destroyed, millions of human lives are lost and entire worlds crumble. But there's still one last chance. Initially, Dr. Catherine Hoy designed this program to crush human rebellions. But now you're the only thing capable of standing between humanity and extinction. Now 15 years old, you and the other surviving Spartan 2 super soldiers are paired with your brand new Moliere-powered assault armor. It's a technologically advanced combat exoskeleton designed to vastly improve the strength, speed, agility, reflexes, and durability of Spartans. It was developed alongside the Spartan 2 program and is currently the most advanced piece of tactical military hardware in human hands. Each suit alone costs as much as a small starship. The neural interface connects directly to the chip in your brain to match your movement in real time. The first time you put it on, you feel completely indestructible, untouchable, and finally ready. You're deployed to face the Covenant for the very first time on Octanes IV, a colony planet with a population of 17 million humans. Your fellow Spartans are dropped into a hot zone as the planet is already under siege. The ground is scorched and the sky is black with plasma fire. Scattered survivors as well as Marines, burnt alive in their foxholes, and civilians who would disintegrated mid-run. And for the first time in person, you see the enemy grunts. Creatures that swarm in numbers and explode when shot. Jackals, snipers with energy shields and beam rifles that melt through armor. Elites, agile killing machines with personal shields and glowing energy swords that can slice through tanks, but you feel nothing. Your training kicks in and you and the rest of your squad fight, kill, and adapt while leading the regular human soldiers. And for the first time since the beginning of this war, the Covenant are actually scared. Your armor makes you faster than their vehicles. Reflexes let you dodge plasma bolts and your fist go through their skulls. UNC watches in shock. After months of hopeless retreat, they finally have something they can believe in. And the Spartans drive the Covenant from the planet, and the UNCC reporters capture the whole thing. The Spartan 2 program is no longer a secret, and the UEG releases your existence to the public to boost the morale. Call you heroes and turn you into a symbol, making posters, propaganda, and recruitment drives all based around the Spartans. To the civilians, you're a shining example of what humanity can. To the Covenant, you become legendary. They call you demons. In the Battle of Octanes IV, there was a single casualty, one of your squad members, but the OI covers it up. They mark him as never declaring a Spartan dead to maintain the illusion of their invulnerability. They secretly ship his body off well to reach where it's stored in suspended animation with the other corpses that didn't survive the program, in the hopes that one day they can be reanimated. But behind the visor, nothing has changed. You're still a child who was stolen, a weapon that was broken and rebuilt, a machine they conditioned to kill without question. And despite all this, you feel nothing at all. It's just the consequence of all the augmentations. Emotions are a privilege reserved for regular mortal humans. And as the UNC has made very clear, that's not you anymore.